Welcome back in.
Welcome back in, indeed. All right, well, it is Music Monday, so we're talking about a number of things today. Why is Elvis Presley back on the chart?
How is Phil Collins' health? And Mick Jagger, I don't know if you saw it last night, shows up to present an award at the Oscars. What's up with that? Just some of the things longtime DJ Tony Curry's warning about on this Music Monday.
Before we get to the Mick Jagger thing, trivia question I'll tell you at the end. Remind me, who's who's gotten more #1 songs, Phil Collins or Genesis? Don't answer it. I'll have it for you.
All right,
something to keep people.
A cliffhanger. All right.
Thought it was fantastic last night. Bob Dylan was supposed to do the original song last night as a presenter. He didn't want to present because one of his songs was actually in it from the movie. And so they asked Mick Jagger, I don't know if that was the ongoing joke or that was true. Of course, he said, I'm 2 years younger than Bob. Then, of course, and really, a lot of people don't realize this. And if you see the Dylan movie, you'll realize what I'm saying, he's a womanizer. Bob Dylan made a story and a life out of women, and just go see the movie. That's all I want to say.
Okay,
you look at Bob Dylan, you're like, really? I mean, but it's just amazing. So anyway, so Mick Jagger, those two were already competing for women back in the 70s and 80s.
Mick Jagger, though, I mean, he's still active. He's got energy, still touring. It's amazing. It's just amazing.
His children are 48 years apart.
He's 82 now. Is that right?
He's 81, and he's got an 8-year-old.
Wow.
I mean, he was on tour when his kid was 1.5.
You rarely see him doing stuff like that, though.
Yeah.
Doing interviews or being out.
And you know what? There's not a lot of people that could get up on stage at the Oscars and wow that crowd.
Right.
I mean, they're like,
exactly.
whatever. Conan O'Brien, okay. Billy Crystal, blah, blah, blah. When Mick got up there, they were like, well, and even Elton John was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Bernie Taupin was like, no way, because no one knew he was going to be there. So super cool moment for the Oscars.
All right, Elvis Presley back on the charts. Why is that?
Normally, some of these old rock and rollers, and certainly like Mariah Carey, she's been on the charts for years because of her great Christmas song, right? So Elvis Presley, for some reason, is popping up on the country charts. Right now, he's number 33 in the country charts in the top 100 albums. No one knows why. Normally, it coincides with a birthday, an anniversary, a death, a marriage, something that goes on with Elvis.
Or a viral video. Or
a viral video.
Or something like that.
We've seen that with Fleetwood Mac. We've seen it. Great point. So sometimes something just throws out there with Elvis, but he is back on the charts in 4 out of the 6 different charts. He's got a single and or an album right now, which is kind of crazy. So Elvis the King lives.
Yeah.
And then Phil Collins.
Breaks my heart.
Yeah, I know. They did the Genesis thing over in London. That was a couple of years ago. They did the last show, of course. He is in a chair. He's got something called drop foot, which is exactly what it sounds like. He has a hard time lifting his foot. He can no longer play the drums. He recently came out on a UK show and said, listen, I don't want to make new music anymore. I don't have the energy to do it. I don't want to do it. Major back problems, and he's had major substance issues over the years.
I hate to see it.
And he said, I'm really, really sick, and I don't think I'm going to make it much longer. So he's asking his fans for prayers. Yeah, it's sad. It's a little pathetic. It's kind of like, dude, I mean, we're always praying for people like that. But so the question is, who's got more #1s? You want to take a stab?
I was going to say Phil, but I'm sure I'm wrong.
Genesis has 1, Invisible Touch. Phil has 7.
I figured it was
including Groovy Kind of Love, which I never would have thought been a #1 song.
I knew that. I knew there was one point in the, I guess the 80s, mid 80s, where every 8 minutes there was a hit song by Phil Collins on the radio.
And they were mostly in
8
movies.
minutes. Every 8
mostly
minutes.
in movies.
Yeah.
He was doing classic rock. He was doing AOR. He was doing crossover, and he was doing movies. He was all over the place.
Thank you, Tony.